Hi, and welcome to the Angel Advisory for the week of March 20th to the 26th. Spring has officially arrived. So that means that all of us are going through a boost of revitalization. There's something about spring coming that gives us that. This is a time of renewal, rebirth, awakening, and just different projects that beg to be done. And there's an excitement when spring arrives. And although this past winter really wasn't as severe as some of our winters have been, everyone always eagerly anticipates the arrival of spring. And so here it is today. So happy spring, everyone. And that is kickstarting our week this week. So there's a rebirth, a renewal. We are coming out of hibernation, because that's what I technically like to term the winter months that we go through. It's more of a sedate, quieter time where we are doing a lot more inner work and preparation for spring to arrive so that we can get out and start doing things. So there are dream seeds that we have been thinking about over the last few months, and now is the time to really start planting them and nurturing those dreams along and seeing where we can get to. On the 23rd, we have the full moon, which is also a lunar eclipse. So that is Wednesday. That will be coming into our life. Now, this full moon is the full worm moon, as for lack of a better thing, that's what's coming to my head right now, and that which, really signifies the return. So today here, the first day of spring where I am, we are having this gentle spring rain, and the birds are out there full singing in that, and I like to think that they are collecting these worms to nourish themselves as they build their nests, or maybe their nests are already built and they're sitting on their eggs. And that we did have a wonderful day on Friday, where we went and we actually got to see 3 mallard duck pairs sitting on their nests, and that was really spectacular because they're very hidden and you really have to watch to be able to see them doing their thing, sitting on their nests. So with this rain today, and the air just smells so good. It smells clean and fresh, and it just really revitalized my soul. So as we go into this week, we're starting off with this fresh, and then comes along Wednesday, we are going to have the full moon, and it's going to be a lunar eclipse, as I have said. So lunar eclipse, expect the energy because of this to bring the focus of your attention to your relationships. And I really think that energy is already starting to build today, because this morning, when I was sitting and looking at what the energy for the week is, that is sort of what has been coming to me, is a lot about relationships. And this is not just about your human relationships with other people, but it also expands all the way across the board. So your work, your money, your material items, everything is like your relationship, how you relate to your money and to your work and to your friends and to your loved ones. Everything is sort of going to be brought to the forefront. The lunar eclipse also, though, is energetically, it means a resetting of the emotions. Now, in our technical world that we live in, a reset is really quite simple. We find the reset button and push it, and it's back to the beginning, or it resets everything and realigns everything so that everything works properly again. However, in our humanness, and that it takes a little bit more for us to do a reset. Typically, we don't have a button that we can go, oh, push, and I reset my emotional level. It begs us to look at this, and I think this goes back to our relationships with everything, because right now what I'm being given is we are to be honest with ourselves above all, and to honestly look at the truth of all of our relationships and to see if we are living in authenticity with what aligns with us. So an easy way to describe this, or to explain this, is, okay, everyone right now is against GMO products, and we all talk about it, and we all are like, oh, non-GMO. However, if we do not take the time to research and go out and start finding what products are not GMO, and perhaps we're buying, say, a box of cereal that contains GMO products, then really we are not being authentic to, ourselves when we say, oh, non-GMO, I don't want any GMO, because we haven't done the research. So that's an easy way to look at it and to see that. So when we reset our emotions, and that it sometimes, no, all the time, I believe, is going to be that we have to sit and look at them, and we have to be truthful. Now, the truth will set you free, but it also can cause pain and discomfort, and we don't like that. So typically what happens is, as soon as we hit a point within us where, oops, something is being spoken to us, a truth, or someone else's truth, and if it causes us discomfort or pain, we typically then put the blame onto the other person, and we walk away from it as quickly as we can. However, since we are being asked to sit with this week, our relationships, and with ourselves and with our truths, and that we are going to have to look at that. And I would like to put out there that, what if, when we are given a truth, or we discern a truth of ourselves, it is just our souls crying out for us to look at that and have a shift in it. So it is time for us to face that fear, because pain and discomfort is really a fear that we have of not being good enough, not being smart enough, not being wealthy enough, not being whatever enough. And we really are, and we all have the ability to make the changes that we need to. So this week then starts off with spring. We go into this looking at our emotions and our relationships and having a reset with that. And then Friday comes along, and it's Good Friday, which will lead up to next Sunday, which is Easter Sunday. So there's a lot here around that. And whether you're religious or not, most everybody takes Good Friday and celebrates it in some way, whether it's just a day off from their work or whatever. Good Friday plays a big role. And Good Friday is symbolically, if you are religious, and that it is the nailing of Jesus to the cross and the pain in that, so that it was the cleansing of everything. So through this, if we look at that, and I'm not necessarily a deeply religious person, however, I do get the premise of it, and I do salute and honor everyone that is, into the religion, and that it's like, okay, to get through this, and then he died on the cross, and he was nailed to there. There was a lot of pain. He was nailed to the cross. If you've seen any of the movies that have been made about this, it's really heart-wrenching to think that someone would do this to another human, and then on Sunday he was reborn. So this is sort of what our week is. It's our Good Friday week. If we go through the emotional thing, and if we feel a little discomfort or pain, and that what we are doing is we are cleansing ourselves to be rebirthed and renewed. That's what this week really is all about. That's how we are resetting our emotions, and we're going into this. So here we go. We're going to pull some cards to support that and see what is coming along to help us this week from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid. I'm using this again, as I said last week. I've been guided that I need to start. And the first card that we have out is By the Book. By the book. So who writes the book? Well, you write your own book, hopefully. And sometimes, yes, we have to follow the set path of rules and everything that are created. And actually, that is what's coming to me right now as well, Marlene. There is a law of everything. There's the law of attraction. There's the law of the universe. There's the law of, life, your physical world. There are laws that you have to follow and be cognizant of. So this week, when we are going by the book, it's not just about by the rules that are set out in our human life and that we have to follow, but it's also our own books that we have wrote. It's also the book of the universe. It's the book of law of attraction. It's the law of abundance. It's the law of forgiveness. It's the law of compassion. And so we really need to be aware this week as we're going through that, and not get into ego set when something is coming to us, and to just sort of sit there and go, okay, if I was to shift just a smidgen of an inch and sort of go, okay, the law of attraction, or any law, and that the more that you can be comfortable in that and you can let it go, the more that comes to you. So there's the law of gratitude. So the more that you are grateful for what you have, the more stuff that comes to you, the more energetically, emotions, everything, the more love that would come to you, because you are so grateful for what you have, no matter where you are in life, that you are attracting more abundance to yourself. So go by the book this week, and that follow your book, follow the books of everything, and that if it does not feel right to you within your little inner thing, think of your little Jiminy Cricket sitting on your shoulder and sort of telling you, no, this isn't what you should do. Listen to that and trust that. Find a different path to go on. Because if you do, that will set you up for the next right path, the next right path, the next right path. So by following the book, we're not necessarily giving in or giving up. We are opening up to having more come to our life. And also this week is a week of clarity. Okay, we're going to be starting in that. And I think that's the spring energy. It's bringing some clarity. Why? Why? Okay, this here today, what this is telling me is why. We need to know the why of why we do things. Why our relationship with money is, say, either very good and we are very good with our money, or why we kind of deceive ourselves into thinking we have more than we do. Same with love, the same with everything. So we need to discern why we do that. And why we do that gives us clues and answers as to how we can shift it. So look for the why. Ask yourself. There will be little clues this week coming to us from outer people. So people in our lives or different signs that we receive will be asking us to look at the inner, and it will be pulling us to the inner, but the outer will be our guideline, and it will be our guidance for what is we are supposed to look at this week and see. So it is still going to be an inner week, but it's very much a week of action, of outside action coming into us that's making us look at it. So now I have 2 cards here, and this was the first one, the Thinker. The Thinker. So, and you can't really see it very good in that because everything's kind of going. But he is sitting, or she is sitting there, pardon me, it's a little fairy. And she's just sitting on a block and she's just contemplating life. I think this is really good because when we are having a rebirth or a renewal, a reset, and that we really need to know why we are doing this and where we are going. And so, all winter we, typically should have been looking at dreams and goals and setting that up. And so not maybe, this is now then the time that wishful thinking and logic have to play a part. The only way we can pull that through is by giving ourselves some thinking time so that we can discern between wishful thinking of, okay, I want this, and wishful thinking is that someone is going to ride in, drop it in your lap, and you're going to move on. And that whereas logic sort of would tell you, well, okay, I have to do this, and how am I going to set it up so that I can achieve this? That is our logical. So we really need to start thinking about our wishful thinking and our logic and pulling it all together, because there's nothing wrong with having a great imagination and dreaming and everything, but at the end of the day, like I said, no one is going to ride in and throw it in your lap. You are the only one that can technically bring it to you. And yes, there might be a miracle that comes along, or a sign of good faith, or someone gifts you something, but technically you have to find that. So the tribe. This is also a great week to spend time with family and friends, and that what better week. This really and truly is a week of celebration. It is a week of having spring coming, and then Easter and Good Friday coming next weekend with, the full moon in between is really, it may be insignificant for a lot of you, but it is really a great week to have celebrations with your tribe. It does not matter who your tribe is, and that, but do what you enjoy this week. Bask in the clarity. Soak up the truth and authenticity of yourself. Be authentic with yourself. It's going to help you so much in moving forward for the rest of the year. This week, really energetically, I think is going to be a mixed bag, and that it feels like it's calm and gentle in a lot of areas, but then there feels like, there's going to be this little bubble of excitement that comes along and allows us to sort of be open to looking at something within ourselves, and then back to calm again. So expect a lot of aha moments this week as you celebrate and move along with spring. What are you planting this year? And that I am planting a garden of abundance for everyone, and also abundance of joy for everyone. That's my wish for each of you, plus a lot of peace in there. So until next week, everyone, have a marvelous week and enjoy the week ahead. I'd love to hear how your week transpires, and that it would be great if we would share. So give me a shout if you'd like. Namaste to each and every one of you. Have a blessed week, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.